radio up.
AVRO. 50 minuten non-stop.
Arbeidsvitaminen.
Gerard Ekom start nu.
En dan behalve dat er een zonnetje gaat schijnen, maar helaas niet. Lullig is dat nou. Oh mensen, de nieuwe single van Matt Bianco hoorde je zomaar even hier op 3FM. Nummer heet The Ordinary Day. En we hebben ze in de studio, maar voor de mensen die denken Matt Bianco, die naam zegt me wel wat, maar waarvan ook alweer? Luister even hiernaar. Het is een klassieker dit, hè? Ja, dat is Matt Bianco. Ze zijn in de studio. Danny White, Mark Reilly en Basia with the very hard last name. Welcome.
Hello.
Hi. It's nice having you here because I really love your music. It's great from the 80s until now. And today the summer starts and it's a coincidence that I have Matt Bianco in the studio, the best barbecue music makers ever.
Oh my God.
Okay, let's start with you, Basia, because I practiced all weekend and it's so hard to get your last name out of my mouth. What's it? Okay, can you say it for me?
It's Trzetrzelewksa.
Trzetrzelewksa. It's a Polish name, huh?
Yes, it is.
Okay,
yes.
that's the reason why it sounds so strange to me, but okay.
It's not that difficult, really, if you know how to say it.
Yeah.
And there are some very Polish simple names to pronounce, like Drabik or Dołek.
Yeah.
It's just I have a difficult one.
Okay, after this interview, I'm going to teach you some typical Dutch
exactly,
names.
I already practiced, actually.
With a lot of...
Exactly, that's much harder.
Okay. Well, let's talk about music. Because the last Matt Bianco hit in Holland was Don't Blame It on That Girl from 1988. What happened with the band after that? Yeah. Mark.
Well, we carried on. After we left Warner Brothers, mainly in Japan. With a label in Japan called JVC, and mainly concentrated in Japan. Released about 5 albums out there. And Danny and Basia had their own career in America.
Yeah, I have an example of that here. Basia. This album.
Yes.
And you worked together with this album, together with Danny White.
That's right.
So you two left Matt Bianco. And,
yes, we only did one album. Really,
you only
together.
did one album.
Yes.
Yeah. So when came the idea to make a complete album with the whole band in the original lineup?
Well, a couple of years ago, I'd kept in touch with Mark, and he invited me over to his studio where he was working. And I think your association with Mark Fisher, as Matt Bianco sort of was winding down. So we talked about working again. So we started to write some songs. Coincidentally, our manager from 20 years ago phoned us up and said, "What are you guys up to? I've just listened to the first album." And it all seemed a bit of a coincidence. We agreed that if we were going to form again, we should get Basia involved. So we played her the backing tracks. Fortunately, she liked them. And it all took off from there. Yeah.
All right. And this new album, Matt's Mood, should have been the second Matt Bianco album back in the 80s.
That's right. Well, with this lineup, yeah, for sure. It feels like the second album.
Yeah. Is there a big difference between Whose Side Are You On and this new album?
I think we are a bit wiser, more mature.
A bit older.
And it's older, very little older. And, it shows kind of, I think that our experience came out on this record. I think it sounds a little bit more mature, that record, than the previous one. I mean, the previous one was great fun, but there was a lot of, as somebody said, frivolity in it. Where this one has far less frivolity and more substance, I think.
Well, is it true that you made this record because it fits now? Because this kind of music is really alive at this moment when you look at the charts. And the musical styles you hear these days are very popular, the music you make.
we keep hearing this actually. We've been to everywhere: Poland, Spain, Germany, and I did an interview with the Hungarian radio, and everyone's sort of saying the same, that they're, welcoming back music with more depth, so instead of the sort of manufactured pop music. Everyone's, excited about more, things like Norah Jones, that kind of stuff. So I think it's good, gives people more choice of.
You're not the only one making that music anymore.
Well, yeah, I don't
People
know.
always did it in the past. I think people always did it, but they weren't as visible. And now, because of these few artists who just came out recently, like Norah Jones and Jamie Cullum and Michael Bublé, for example, or even Robbie Williams, when he made that album, the swing album, people started to pay more attention to it, and they realized that there is a commercial possibility in it. That's why it helped us to get the record deal again, because after the success of those artists, Universal was very interested in signing us again, which really pleased us, because we weren't sure. We recorded this album without having a deal with the record company, and we didn't know if anyone will react to it positively, but we had a few fans, it turned out, and who remembered us from the first album and really had some kind of emotional attachment to us, and they were happy to sign us.
So you had a complete musical freedom. You could do whatever you like.
Absolutely,
and then, we have a deal. Great, we can release it.
That's right.
Okay, that must be a great feeling. But this weekend I played nothing but this album at home. It's a great one. It's great. Yeah, I really love the music you make. Was it in some way a strange experience for the three of you to suddenly be together again and create new music?
It was very. At first, it was very odd. I mean, I remember we were wandering about. Our manager had a garden party, and the three of us were there for the first time together, and it was very bizarre. Because
hello, how are you? Oh my God, you are here too.
Because we hadn't really seen much of each other. Basia and I hadn't seen a lot of Mark over in 20 years. But once we started working, it was as though time hadn't elapsed. It seemed very natural and very easy, fortunately.
Yeah.
So it was very enjoyable.
Okay, and the question we all have: are there plans for a tour?
Definitely, that's our next project. We need to get something like 9 musicians in addition to the 3 of us. So we need to get working on that. That's going to be the next project. We're looking forward to that, because the 3 of us have never toured together.
No,
we've never been on stage together. Yeah.
So this is going to be the first tour with the 3 of you involved.
That's right. If we don't split up before that.
Don't split up then, okay? I really want to see you performing live. Okay, well, people rush to the shop, because Matt Smoot is in the store right now, the new Matt Bianco album. We really love it. We're going to play one of your all-time favorite songs now on the air. And I know this is a terrible question for musicians, but do you have one song that we could play for you?
From our repertoire? Or
from all songs ever made. Yeah.
Well, I was very much influenced by early soul, 60s soul, and Aretha Franklin was like the most favorite singer of all times. And I think one of the songs that definitely had the biggest impact on me, and lots of other people, and my friends here in the band agree, was I Say a Little Prayer, which was actually a song written by Burt Bacharach, another fantastic songwriter. So I think that song kind of exemplifies the best in music.
Okay, and Mark, Danny, you agree with him?
Absolutely.
With her? Yeah, okay.
I always agree, Basia.
We're gonna play it. No fighting. Oh, we got a tour. We agree. Okay. The rain starts pouring right now in Hilversum. I'm sorry about that, but thank you very much for coming to the studio, and good luck with
Thanks for having us.
finding musicians for the tour.
Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you. Matt Bianco met een favoriete liedje van Aretha Franklin.